Welcome to Common Prophets. The origins of the Jews before the Exodus at about 1500 BC has been shrouded in mystery. The typical understanding is that the modern humans evolved in Africa around 160,000 years before present. In some unknown manner, those humans migrated to Iraq, from where Abraham migrated to Egypt, and then the standard history progressed. However, Stephen Oppenheimer of Oxford University has provided a different take on this migration. He agrees that the modern humans evolved around 160,000 years before present in Africa, but he says that around 70,000 years before present, they spread around the Indian Ocean from Africa and they reached South Asia. And from South Asia, around 40 to 25,000 years from present, one stream migrated from South Asia to Europe, as you can see in this picture. The assumption then is that these modern human beings migrated at some unknown time from Europe to Iraq, and then the story of Abraham proceeded from there. This narrative does not help us resolve the question of Exodus. First, the migration from Africa at 70,000 years ago, or migration from South Asia 25,000 years ago, does not give us any information about the possible migration at the time of the Exodus. Second, the migration from Europe to Iraq, from where Abraham may have started his journey, is also not established from genetic material. Therefore, this narrative, though accurate, does not help resolve the question of the origin of the Exodus. The second information we have is from Professor Stephen Weitzman of University of Pennsylvania. He reports a study by Michael Hammer and others who have traced a particular gene called Cohen model haplotype. The Jewish tradition says that the sons of Aaron were made priests, and this lineage of priests continued for a long time. This Cohen model haplotype is transferred from the male to the male, that is, from father to the son. Michael Hammer and others have established that the priests among the Ashkenazi and Sephardi Jews, which are the two major lines of the Jews, both have this Cohen model haplotype, which suggests that the tradition of the priests having been made from the sons of Aaron is established by genetic evidence. Aaron may have had this Cohen model haplotype, and he may have transferred that particular gene to the priests generation after generation. And so we find this particular gene in the priests of both the traditions. Very interestingly, it is suggested that the Ashkenazi and Sephardi lines separated around 500 BCE, which means that we can say with some confidence that at around 500 BCE they had a common ancestor. But what happened before 500 BCE, that is what happened between 1500 BCE of the Exodus and 500 BCE when the two lines separated, this Cohen model haplotype gives us no information, and therefore this is also not of much use to us in tracing the origins of the Exodus. Now we come to the third evidence by the National Geographic Society, which has started a R-M124 project. This is a particular gene that is found in about 2% of the Ashkenazi Jews. Now, it is believed that this particular gene stabilized in its present form around 16,000 years ago. Therefore, it is clear that this has nothing to do with the migration which Stephen Oppenheimer says that took place from South Asia to Europe around 25,000 years ago. Now, the interesting part is that this particular gene, that is R-M124, is found widespread among the Indians. A study by Sahu says that the haplogroup R-M124 forms the majority of the South Asian male population. Among the regional groups, he says, it is found among the West Bengalis, 23%. Bengal is the easternmost part of the mainland India. The Karmalis of West Bengal show about 100% of this RM124 gene. The Kshatriyas, a particular community of Jaunpur, which is in the northern plains of the Ganges river, have 87% RM124 gene. The Bihar Yadavs, which is another area in the eastern part of India, have 50% RM124 genes. So this shows very clearly that this RM124 gene is very dominant in the eastern part of India, and it is also found in the Ashkenazi Jews. So we must assume that there is some remote connection between the two. Now, the National Geographic Society project has suggested that one possible way of this RM124 gene having entered the Jewish line could be like this. The Jews were exiled from Israel in the 6th century BCE, and they were held in captivity in Babylon for about 50 years. The project says that approximately at the same time, Cyrus had led a westward movement from Persia, and he had entered Babylon and moved even further west. Then they suggest that some persons from India having this RM124 genes may have come to Persia, and they may have moved westward along with Cyrus, and they may have come in contact with the Jews which were held in captivity in Babylon, and in this manner the RM124 gene travelled from India to the Jewish population. While this is plausible, in my opinion this is somewhat speculative, because there is no genetic evidence of the connection of the RM124 gene with Persia, and also there is no archaeological or other evidence of migration of Indian people to the army of Cyrus. Therefore, while it cannot be precluded, yet it does not seem to carry much conviction. It is based upon many assumptions which are not supported by available information. Now, the fourth information we have is a paper by Ferdinand Henner-Bichler. He has studied the genetic constitution of the Kurds of Iraq. Now, he points out that among the ancient Iraqi literature, there is reference to a people called umman-manda. And these people are supposed to have their origins between 21st century BCE to 5th century BCE. Now, this term umman means army troops, whereas the term manda could either mean a soldier, which would be repetition of the meaning army troops, or it could mean distant mountain lands in the far east. Now, while this is question, yet it gives an indication of a possible connection between the umman-manda and the Jews who may have migrated from India to Israel at the time of the Exodus. Now, Henner Bickler says that the term umman-manda was used in the northwest during 18th to 17th centuries BCE, mainly for Semites. Now, this is interesting because the Hittite mythology has a great similarity with the Hindu mythology. So, one possibility is that there were a number of migrations from India to the Hittite area, and they carried the Hindu mythology which was absorbed into the Hittite mythology, and these Indian people were known as Semites generally. So the Semite term could include the Jews, which we shall discuss just now, as well as their earlier Indian counterparts who may have migrated from India to West Asia. Henner Bickler gives a map based upon studies by Anatole Cryosov. Very tantalizingly, it shows that around 3500 years before present, that is around 1500 BCE, there was a migration from east to west, nearly from the northern part of India to Iran. Now, it is quite conceivable that this migration could hide within itself the migration of the Jews from India to Israel. And this provides the second evidence. The first evidence is that the people from India having that R-M124 gene, they were perhaps living in the Indus Valley, which was the center of civilization at that time. One line of these people moved westward, led by Moses during the Exodus to Israel, and they carried the R-M124 gene with them. Another line of the same people moved eastward to the Ganges basin and Bengal, and that is why we have the R-M124 gene in that area. So this possibility would provide a much more credible connection between the R-M24 gene that is found among the Ashkenazi Jews and the Indians. On the whole, it seems to me that the origins of the Jews before the Exodus are shrouded in mystery. The R-M124 gene in particular provides an interesting link with India. Note that among the communities in India which have the R-M124 genes are Bihar Yadavas, who have 50% of this gene. Now, Yadavas were cattle herds, just as the Jews led by Moses were. Hence, it is possible that the R-M124 gene provides a link between the Yadavas of India and the Ashkenazi Jews, and that would solve the puzzle of the origin of the Jews before the Exodus. You will find the links to the papers quoted by me in the description of this video, and please do not forget to share and like this video, and visit our website at www.commonprophets.com and provide us with your most valuable comments. Thank you.